Hi, I'm Chris Fritsch, a physical therapist and athletic trainer at Fitness Forum Physical Therapy in Annapolis. We're going to talk about 5 things that you should look for in a shoe. The first thing when selecting a shoe is to make sure that you know your foot. Do you have a high arch? Do you have a low arch? Is it wide or narrow? That's normally assessed in a subtalar neutral position. A physical therapist can help with that. The salespeople at a running store and the Dr. Scholl's platform are not necessarily the best options to figure out what type of foot that you have. The second thing is to know the difference between a board-lasted and a slip-lasted shoe. A slip-lasted shoe, internally the construction is looser. So when you pick it up, you should be able to bend it in all different directions, very pliable. A board-lasted shoe is a little stiffer in the rear foot, which is normally what more people will tolerate. It'll bend at the toes, but very little motion in the back. The main type of shoes that you see for sale are these, but this is really what most people do best in. The next thing important is the angle of the last, so this is number 3. If you go right between the heel and go all the way out to the toes, you can see how much of a curve the shoe has. This shoe is semi-curved, so it just has a little bit of a curve to it. This is what most people tolerate. If you have a high arch, you're going to do better with a very curved shoe. If you have a low arch, you'll do better with a straighter shoe. So you also need to look at the kind of the last. The fourth thing to look at is what's the level of rigidity that you need. There's a new interest in minimal running where you have very little on your feet when you're running. I find it interesting, but I worry about the breakdown of the fat pad at the heel over time. Very few short shoe stores organize their shoes based on neutral shoe, stability, motion control. Motion control is the most rigid support, but most people need a stability shoe. Very few tolerate a neutral shoe. And the fifth thing is that you need to look at the toe box. You really need a nice toe box. It really doesn't matter what your issues are, but you need those toes to be able to spread for the nerves in between the toes and for better foot development later, because we don't want to develop bunions and hammer toes and things like that, which happen from the toes being crushed. So those are the 5 things you need to look for in shoes. Thank you very much.